Good evening, everyone. Please, if I'm audible, let me see your emojis. If you are hearing me loud and clear. Okay. All right. Okay. Welcome to the. All right. Thank you. Awesome. Thank you. Okay. Good evening, every one of us. So we are, as we are waiting for our facilitator to join us. So as we are awaiting our facilitator to join us, we have terms and conditions on this call. Please don't write on the screen. Don't write on the screen. And if you are asked to ask your question, your name, your ministry, and go straight to your question. Please, I will advise you have your pen and paper with you, because today's topic is part of the area of concentration from Civil Service Commission's file, circular, sorry. I want us to listen attentively and ask your question. Unmute yourself, Mr. Awe. Good evening, sir. Okay. Welcome, sir.
Thank you very much, my namesake. I
Okay,
hope you
sir.
can hear me.
Loud and clear, sir. Please, participants, if
Thank
the
you.
facilitator is audible, can you make use of your emojis to know that we are on the same page? Mr. Awe, sir, you can say something. So let me hear if they can hear you, sir.
Good evening, everyone, my leaders on this call, my colleagues. It's another good day to be with you. I am privileged to be part of you, to rub minds, learn together, unlearn and relearn. I hope you can hear me loud and clear.
Can you hear him loud and clear? Please make use of your emojis. Okay, yes, sir. Okay. No, yes. Please make use of your emojis and so that we can confirm the facilitator is audible. Okay, yes. Okay, all right. Okay. In order not to waste much of our time, let's go straight to the business.
I'm trying to change this background. It's one of these.
You mean your own background, sir?
Yes, I'll change it now. It's one of these facilitation that I did some film back. So I want
Okay.
to change it. Not that.
Okay, you can go ahead and do that so that I will be reading your profile and welcome the.
Thank you. Go ahead.
All right, sir. Yeah, good evening, everyone. Our distinguished colleagues, and welcome once again to the Public Service Knowledge Hub 2026 tutorial series. I'm your regular host, Jamiu Onosanya. We appreciate your consistency, your commitment, and your determination to prepare intentionally for the forthcoming promotion exercise. Tonight's session is a very important one, mastering your schedule of duties, understanding job-specific roles, responsibilities, and deliverable in the Lagos State Civil Service. This topic goes directly to the heart of the 2026 promotion examination expectation as outlined by the Civil Service Commission. Whether your interview comes through CBT, interactive panel, or written assessment, one key question remains. Do you fully understand the job you are being promoted into? And can you demonstrate the knowledge, responsibility, and deliverable expected of that role? Today's session will help us understand how our schedule of duty affects performance evaluation, aligning our daily duties with public service rule, scheme of service, and our MDA's mandate. Know that interview panel look for when assessing competence, prepare job-specific responses using clarity documentation and results. It is my honor to introduce our facilitator for tonight's session, Mr. Awejami Abiodun, a seasoned public administrator and Deputy Director of Administration and Human Resources at Ibile Holding. He is an accomplished HR professional with strong expertise in organizational administration, people management, and workforce development. He is a member of Shatter Institute of Personnel Management, MCIPM, and Human Resource Professional, HRPL, with both MSc and BSc degree backing his professional excellence. Mr. Awe is widely expected for his clear teaching style, practical knowledge sharing, and passion for capacity building within the Lagos Public Service. He has trained numerous officers across cadres and is well recognized for simplifying complex administrative procedure into practical actionable lesson. ladies and gentlemen, join me and with a warm welcome our facilitator tonight, Mr. Jamiu Awe. Before we call on our before the facilitator starts the program, I want you to today's session sponsored by the Association of Civil Service of Nigeria, Lagos chapter, and I would like to call on the chairman of the union, Mr. Balogun Olusegun. Are you on the call? Unmute yourself.
Yes, I am. Good
Okay,
evening, everybody.
You have the floor, sir.
Yeah, thank you very much. Fellow participants and then the facilitator, I want to greet everybody and I want to appreciate knowledge of for a job well done. And I want to say this session is being sponsored by Association of Senior Civil Servants of Nigeria, Lagos State Branch. As you are aware that the association has been doing tutorial in the days where we will be having physical examination. But this time around, the Civil Service Commission has introduced a new model. And because of the time and then now that we are in the new world of work, so a new technology has been introduced, and that is the virtual tutorial that we're talking about now. And the association has keen to this, and that is why we are supporting you in this area. Now, before now, you remember that the Association of Senior Civil Servants of Nigeria fought very well in collaboration with the government that there's a need for us to come to the level of financial dates and the notional dates. We want to appreciate the government and the Civil Service Commission now for now making it to be possible that for those of 1st of January, notional date and financial date to be 1st of January. And that's what they are trying to do now. They've been able to get that of last year for February. But this time around, they're trying their best to ensure 1st of January become reality. So we want to appreciate them for that. And with this new introduction now, we want to assure you that the best will happen. Just go in there and do your best. And I'm very sure that the success rate of this exercise will be very alarming. So we can assure you of that. We have engaged the Civil Service Commission and they have assured us. So what they're trying to do now is to strengthen the system so that the crop of officers that will be coming on board will be such that we'll be able to represent the state government anywhere in the world. And that's where we're going. So I want to congratulate every one of you in advance. And I want to pray that success shall be yours at the end of the day. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. Can you please make use of emojis and appreciate Mr. Chairman, appreciate the Association of Senior Civil Servants? I can't see your emojis. Are we still on this call together? I didn't say you should make use of the chat box. Make use of the emojis. Okay, the chat box. Okay, thank you. Fantastic, fantastic. Okay, without not wasting much of our time, I will call on the facilitator to keep the ball rolling. Mr. Awisa, are you still with us?
I'm with you.
Okay,
Yes,
you have the floor, sir.
with you.
Okay, you have the floor, sir. Thank you, sir.
Good evening, everyone. This knowledge sharing session we're going to have is going to be a practical one. We're going to speak to issues around. Can you put up my screen for me, sir? Oloko.
I've shared it already, sir. Can you see my screen, sir?
I can't see your screen.
Okay, let me reshare.
All right. Yes, it's coming on. I'm seeing it now.
Okay.
I think I'm seeing for myself on your screen. Can you share
Okay.
it, please?
Okay, let me stop and reshare it. Can you see it now, sir?
No.
Please, participant, can you see my screen?
No. Thank you.
Have you seen it, sir?
I can see the screen now.
Maybe
Yes, I can see it now.
Oh,
Thank you.
okay. Okay, sir. Okay, sir.
Can you drop on the first? Okay. Good evening, everyone. No, I can see the screen. Just give me the first page. Let me be sure you
Okay,
roll
sir.
in.
Okay.
Just give me the first page.
Okay, this introduction.
The first slide, please. Give me the first slide. Okay, now you can go back to the. Yeah, thank you. You can go back to the original slide, the
Okay.
beginning. I need to speak
Yeah.
to the topic.
Okay, I'm there now.
Go back to the initial one. Thank you. Right. Leave it at that. Good evening. All right. Good evening, everyone. I am happy to be with you. This is a kind of interactive session for all of us as public servants of Lagos State. Please don't mind the date I have on that slide. I think it was a spontaneous one. It came just last night from our coordinator, and a very energetic one, always working 24/7. I call him Peruzin, my namesake. And when it came with this idea that I need to speak today, I think I had to run a slide of like 27 slides within 9 o'clock and 3 a.m. this morning. So the date actually had Sunday, 10th of November. Please ignore that. Before we push the slide to you, we'll change that date. So don't mind that one, please. So what we're speaking to tonight is mastering your schedule of duties, understanding job specific roles, responsibilities, and deliverables in Lagos State Public Service. So this is what we're speaking to. And this one affects all of us across board, across cadre and across grade levels. So the reason why we've come to work is just to perform some special duties that are assigned to us. Also, we have some general duties that is assigned to us. Hello, Mr. Ajami. I lost your screen there. I can go with my own screen in here. I think I have the same. Hello, can you hear me? Hello, coordinator.
I hear you, sir. I'm coming, sir. I want to resend the slide. I can
Okay,
hear you, sir.
I'll continue speaking. I have another double slide I put on in here, so I'll still continue to speak to that. So why we are trying to speak to this issue of job specific roles, responsibility, and job deliverables? All of these are issues that are centered around our schedule of duties from every strata of levels, cadre, gender, and position. All of us has specialized duties that we're supposed to do. Some of us has kind of generic duties we're supposed to do. There are some generalized duties that every one of us has to go through. So how best do you know your job? How best do you know your duty? In the Yoruba parlance, they said, when you know how where you are going, when you have the path to where you're going, to get there is always very easy. I know we're about 800, 900 on this course. So I'm sure speaking kind of adage in Yoruba to not start repeating or translating it will just take more of my time. So instead of giving that, I'll just translate directly. That where we're going is not that far. It's how to get there that needs to be mastered. And that's why we're doing the mastering of schedule of duties. What do we mean by schedule of duties? This will put me to introduction of the topic, as it were. The English looks so long, schedule of duties, then it speaks to job specific role, job responsibility, job deliverables. These were interchangeable words. that actually mean the same things, because it's a whole that we're taking part from. So it's just one single attitude, one single issues, one single system, one single procedure, one single process that we want to speak to. But the idea of getting to it are what we are speaking to, job specific roles, job responsibility. When you say specific roles, when you say responsibility, what does it mean? Practically the same thing, but you can put it in different contexts. Now, in my introduction, I'll say, what do we understand by schedule of duties? Our schedule of duties, in a very plain, straight language, means a kind of plan, strategic plan, timetable, or tool that provide guidance. That's the word. It provides guidance. If we have a plan that doesn't have any guidance, we have timetable that doesn't provide any guidance, it's a useless timetable, it's a useless plan. So when we speak to schedule of duty, the first thing it must have is it must be a plan or a timetable or two that should provide us with guidance. It must provide us with outlines. It must provide us with templates to assist us as individuals, officers, downlines, managers, director, or even as team on our job specific roles, our job responsibilities, then our job deliverables. And sometimes specific tasks and work hours over a period of time on the basis of articulate job analysis, job evaluation, and preparation of our job descriptions. I'm sure this is clear enough, but let's pick those words that are very, very germane and very, very important. We should know. When we know that one, what we want to speak to tonight is very clear. What are our schedule of duties as an admin officer, as an engineer, as a ICT person, as a planner, as a procurement officer, as a whatever cadre you have, whatever cadre where you find yourself and working as public servants. What are your specific schedule of duties that you're supposed to do? Once you know your specific duties, that is when you know you are ready to come to work. But once you don't have that, then there is no point coming to do anything, because you don't even have anything to do in the first instance. As much as you are employed, you are given an appointment and you are posted to a specific place to work, and you have had your assumption of duty, the first and primary thing you need to know is your schedule of duty. However, at the instance when you came in, the scheme of service would have given you a know-how, the normal and simpler part of your schedule of duty. It's there in your scheme. But not everybody has access to scheme of service straight off. Even what you have and the kind of induction you had may not be able to speak A to Z your schedule of duty. But at least you know that this is the job that I am supposed to do within the time period. And that is what this introduction is speaking to. That's why I am making emphasis on this introduction. It is a plan, it is a timetable, and it's a tool that provide guidance, provide outlines, provide templates to assist us as officers or even as team on our job specific roles, on our job responsibilities, and our job deliverables. And sometimes those specific tasks and working hours are over a period of time that is based on an articulate job analysis, job evaluation, and preparation of our job description. Now, what do we understand by job evaluation? Job classification. Now, job evaluation is the analysis and evaluation of work for the purpose of determining the relative value of jobs within an organization. Job evaluation may also provide valuable information for organizational analysis, and for human resources planning and management. Management strategies such as succession planning, performance management, and compensation, etc., etc. What we are speaking to here is that for every job we want to do, there must be an evaluation for that job, which will have been done by the Civil Service Commission, related commissions and establishment MDA, like Establishment and Training, Public Service Office, Civil Service Commission. They will have run a job evaluation before they even know which cadre you belong to, before they even know which cadre you are coming into, before they even know grade level they are placing you to, before they now give you a kind of job description you will do. Next slide, please. Next slide, please. Thank you. No. Is that my first slide? All right. Okay, now, for job evaluation. No. You missed it. Yeah, thank you. Job evaluation system. I'm speaking to job evaluation here now. I want us to get this right. So that's what will take us to where we're going. Job evaluation system to be effective, care must be taken in ensuring the system is as objective as possible. It is important that each job be evaluated on the basis of current, regular, and ongoing work conditions and job content. It is also essential that the focus of the evaluation process be on the purpose, scope, and responsibility of work assigned to the position. That's the language. Assigned to the position, and not an incubate personal qualities or performance. When we're running a job evaluation, this responsibility, scopes, and purpose is assigned to the position. If you are admin and HR officer, your job evaluation is assigned to your purpose, the scope, and responsibility of your work, and not as person as it were. So it is not about the incumbent person or the qualities of that person or performance. Now, job evaluation is done blindly because they don't even know who is going to fit into this. When we look at the scheme of service, it will tell you for admin and HR officer level 8, and at entrance level, you are supposed to do this, and this. You are supposed to have this qualification, and this is the way you will move and progress in service. For engineer, this and this is what is expected of them. This is where you come in. This is how you progress. For accountant, this is how you progress. This is where you come in. Your job will have been evaluated, not on the basis of you who is coming to even do the work. It is ready. It is not for you to now key into that job. Now, in other words, the focus is on the position, not on the individual in the position. Now, as jobs are very often affected in some way by organization change, maintaining the job evaluation system requires that department periodically review their organizational design and structure to determine if significant changes have occurred. Any change in an organizational structure may alter the content of the job, which may result in an adjustment in the evaluation of the job. Ideal description should be updated every time there is a substantial change to a position purpose, scope, and responsibility. Next slide, please. I hope we're following, please. Please, if I'm throwing you out, please let me know so that we don't move too far before we get where we're going to. Now, job evaluation will involve some levels of subjectivity. To reduce subjectivity, the ministry, department, or agency, that is MDA, may sometimes require the involvement of ministry or agency like OTCI, the corporate planning units, which shall meet the MDA to jointly evaluate all positions being evaluated. It may include representation from a cross-section of job classes or cadre to every extent possibility. The OTCI will evaluate all jobs within the MDA, as well as maintain the integrity of selected job evaluation system. Whenever possible, job evaluation decisions shall be unanimous and deemed final and binding upon these parties. Let me explain this. That's what it is. It might be an agency of government, it might be a ministry department, and we have different kind of cadres that in every MDAs. There may be some new introductions that are sent into the MDAs. There might be a kind of resolve to expand and go beyond what they've been doing before. Sometimes you might have a new MDA or a new agency that just come up. Let's say there's this I think it was environment that came on with emergency department one time like that. There was this new cadre that came on. There was this cadre that springs up at a particular time, and officers were moved in from different cadres to come and join them. And we have this archive and some other cadres like that came on newly. Yes, they need to have job descriptions that will stick into every part of the officers so that they will be able to bring out the deliverables that is needed for those MDAs. Some of those things might be new, some of those things might be unclear, it might be ambiguous. Most often, they bring in expertise MDs, agency that deal with issues like this. And I know more importantly, the corporate planning sections in the OTCI are always up to this at every other time. It might be a new deal that came into an MDA or an old structure that need to be expanded or clear up. So most often they come in, they sit with every class representative, the accounting officers, and more of corporate planning issues are around. Job descriptions are done, templates are created, and unanimous decisions are taken, and most of it binding, to make the agency get on top of their mandate and be able to have an accomplished mandate within a short period of time. That's what I'm speaking to on this particular issue. Now, a job description clarifies work functions and reporting relationships, helping employees understand their job. Job description aids in maintaining a consistent salary structure. Performance evaluations may be based on job description. Now, you know, all along we'll be speaking to issue of job evaluation. And all of this boils down back to job description. And this job description is what we're speaking to tonight, our schedule of duty. So next slide, we will get there now. Now, job classification method. Jobs are classified into an existing grade, category, structure, or hierarchy. Each level in the grade or category structure has a description and associated job title. I have mentioned different job titles. I have mentioned different structures. We're speaking to cadres in public service. We're speaking to grade level in public service. We're speaking to issue of department. We're speaking to issue of unit. And all of these add the classification of every job. So each job is assigned to a grade or category, providing the closest match to the job. The classification of a position is decided by comparing the whole job with the appropriate job grading standard. To ensure equity in job grading and wage rates, a common set of job grading standards and instructions are used because of differences in duties, skills, and knowledge, and other aspects of trades and labor job. Job grading standards are developed mainly along occupational lines. All of these are what has been expressed in our scheme of service, and some of it even in our public service rules. Next slide, please. Scheme of service. You know, all of these are what I have been speaking around. So it's going to be in and in and in into it. So we will be getting more clearer and clearer when we're moving on every slide. So to each slide, there will be more of understanding of what we're speaking to. Scheme of service. I'm sure all of us at this stage, even from the last of the levels in public service up to the highest echelon of service, we know exactly what scheme of service is all about. Scheme of service is the public service standard document that identify and describe those key characteristics of occupations that are significant for distinguishing different levels of professions, cadres, and work. It defines these key characteristics in such a way as to provide a basis for assigning the appropriate grade level to all positions and service progression in the occupation of which the standards apply. This one are my own word that I coined to define what scheme of service is all about. And what it has explained to us in here is what it does. One, it gives us a key characteristics of all occupations, as it were. It identifies all professions, cadres, and work that needs to be done. It also exemplifies to us the basis of assigning appropriate grade level to all positions. It doesn't stop at that. It gives us the service progression in the occupation of which the standard is applied. That is just what that paragraph speaks to. Now, what are the basic purpose of classifying jobs? What are the basic purpose of classifying jobs? One, it helps in recruitment and selection by defining significant qualification standard. For you to become an accountant in public service, these are the requirements. This is the grade level you are coming in. These are what is expected of you. These are the standard. This is how you are going to progress. That's one of the basics. Number two, it helps in designing and developing standard for performance and appraisal. It will explain to you that you are here now. For you to move to the next level, this is what is expected of you. You'll be appraised based on your performance, and your performance will may or mar you to the next level. It's there. Number three, it allocates responsibilities assigned with the organizational mission and vision, and those that help in realization of that organizational business plans and strategies. I'm sure those are clear enough. So we need to move on. To identify career and growth paths in organization. I'm sure we know the civil service scheme of service actually pushed this into limelight. One is also to establish standards of remuneration. Yes. When we say standard of remuneration, the scheme of service may not tell you this is the salary you are taking. This is the salary you are taking. It might not be specific, but you know for every grade level you are, for every promotion you add, for every movement you have, there is always a standard remuneration that is attached to that based on salary structure. So we all know that, okay, if I am on this level, this is what I get. If I am that level, that's what I get. Right, next slide, please. Are you not moving too fast for me? Okay, just one. What is job description? This is where we're coming to tonight. This is what we want to discuss. Job description. Our job description means our schedule of duties. And these are the basis of which, when we are running our promotion, we'll be asked on what we do. The Civil Service Commission have been so good enough with us to promote people with good integrity, performance, and ability to move. So they are not asking us too much. They are only going to ask us about our job. I am an HR officer, and I'm going to be asked about the job I do as an HR officer, not as a scheme officer, not as a ICT person, not as a planner, not as a physical planning officer. You're going to be asked about the job you do. What do you do? How do you do it? What are the process? What is the timeline? What is your deadline? How do you accomplish it? What is your key performance indicator to the job you are supposed to do? How did you fare enough on your own? Does your conscience speak to you that you do your job right? What is the time hour you put into the job? Does it take more than 24 hours for you to give rendition of the job you are supposed to do? Does it take eternity for you to produce results? Are you the one that give a kind of job and it takes eternity before you can produce results? Are you the type of person they will give the job and say, let me give that guy to do that job, and I sleep? Before I wake up, he has given me results. Or are you the person they will be running after to say, yes, has he done anything right? Has he done anything well? A moment, please. Let me charge this. Sorry, I'm trying to charge my gadget. I didn't want it to go off. Yes, I'm back. Thank you. Now, what is job description? What do we understand by job description? Job description in here means charging. Okay. Job description means a methodological statement, a methodical statement that describes the general task or schedule of duty. That's why I put it in capital letters. That is intentional. What we're speaking to tonight is schedule of duties. And now, our job description is not speaking to our schedule of duties. But how do we describe job description itself? We said it's a methodical statement that describes the general task or schedule of duties or other related duties and responsibility of a position. I've described that before I read this one. I'm sure it's plain and fine, straight off. It could also be described as the key responsibility as agreed for the reporting period in order to achieve the set goals, aims, and objectives. I would rather hang on that second paragraph. That job description could be described as key job responsibilities as agreed for the reporting period in order to achieve the set goals, aim, and objective. So the job description would identify the following. What are our job descriptions supposed to identify? One, it's supposed to identify our job identification. What is your job? I am a medical doctor. What is your job identification? I am HR officer. What is your job? I am an accountant. What is your job? I am a procurement officer. What is your job? I am a planner. What is your job? I am an auditor. What is your job? I am a secretariat assistant. What is your job? All of those, that is what it's going to speak to. Then the job summary. The job description should also speak to job summary. Our job description must also speak to our responsibilities and duties. For every job, for every cadre, there must be a responsibility and duties that attach to that job. Then what should be identified again is qualification and competencies. Qualification and competencies. You cannot be an engineer by training, by qualification, and you are competent about that. And you said, okay, because there is no job in the society, I will take the job of a pilot. It's either you want to kill yourself or you want to kill those people who are going to enter the plane with you, if they know that you are not even close to that. An HR officer is best at his job, but not best at being an accountant. If he has not been trained ab initio or has the qualification or that competencies in the first instance. We know life is dynamics now. People learn things different way. People learn different qualifications. AIs are there, but AI are also propelled by a human being. And sometimes the AI cannot even do anything on its own except it is done by a human being. It cannot just work like that. People need to propel AI to work. It can't just start on its own and start working. So qualifications and competencies also will be identified with job description. Next slide, please. Hello. Thank you. Job description statement is generally written observing some basic rules in which everyone must have clear understanding of. And what are these rules? One, it must be specific to the task or schedule. The job you are supposed to do as an officer, either a traffic officer, either a finance officer, either an ICT officer, either an HRO officer. Please, if I don't mention your cadre, you can just push it anywhere because I know all of us on this call are not on the same cadre. And let me state this to you. Some of the examples I'm going to bring in here, practical issues we're going to look at. I'm not going to even look at my HR cadre, which I belong to. I'm going to use different cadre that is not even my own area. So as a sample to all of this we're speaking to. So if I don't mention your cadre, please forgive me. I may not get to it now. I may get to it before we close. So if not, just forgive me. We are all one. We are all public service servants, and we're aiming at the same goal. So it must be specific to the task or schedule. It must be explicit and not ambiguous to understand in its simplest form to the job or task requirement. If you are supposed to run a job, you are in any ministry, department, and agency, and you don't know your job because me or more, I don't know if it is me that's supposed to do it or it is not me. I think it's an admin work. No, finance. And let me be practical about this one. I think there was a particular time there was this issue around issue of storekeeper, and admin, and even procurement. Who is supposed to be in charge of store? Who is supposed to take care of store? Do we even have store under admin? Was it practically under admin before? Now is it under procurement? Is it under account? So if you have a job description which you don't know and you are overlapping on your job and saying it is this and that, you are not explicit about it, it's very ambiguous, then that is not a good job description. Your job description must be explicit. It must not be ambiguous. You must understand it in its simplest form to the job and task requirement. You run the job you are supposed to do because it is documented. Even those ones that are not documented, as in when we have all of our job description, they will say any other job as dictated, directed, or instructed by the accounting officer. Yes, accounting officer will still have directed you to do it. You won't direct yourself to go and do the job that doesn't concern you. I can't be so good in my job, so active and so energetic, and I just go on the road like that and said, I want to be passed. I tell last man, please stay off. You are not doing it the right way. If motor don't crush me, I will crush motor, and I will find myself where I'm not supposed to find myself. The most important thing is to know your job, know your boundary, know where you start, know where you stop. And if there's any added work that is given to you, special assignment, fine, it can come. But then it will be a spelled out job for you to do. And you must still be sure of what you are supposed to do. Now, it must be able to explain. It must be able to explain the why of the job. Why are you doing it? You can't be doing a job you don't know the reason why you are doing it. You must know the reason why you are doing that job. So there must be a reason for every job we are doing. Then it must be orderly arranged preferentially. Then it must be time bound. Yes, every job must be time bound. It is there in public service, it is there in our domain when you have a job to run. Your file must not stay beyond 24 hours on your table. We don't want 72 hours file being on your table. We don't want files you just keep under the table. You say that I'll match it later. I will do it. I gave it to somebody. And they say the file I gave you yesterday, I'm still doing. No. Every job must be time bound. Every MDA has a specific timeline to every job they need to do. Now, job description also, it allows and enables accounting officers, head of department, head of unit, supervisors to list employees' responsibilities in descending order for primary to secondary down to minor functions at the beginning of the performance period to confirm the business objective and agree performance standard and target or goal setting. This is clear. Jobs are not just described. You don't just have job description and say, go and write your job description. For every MDAs, there must be a standard. I'm also very sure there is a standard template for job description in every MDA, except we don't use it. I'm a HR officer, and this I know. I know there was a time also this thing came from. It was a policy issue. It was an established issue, and not so even from the office of OTCI. And beyond that, within and on the populous service matters, that there are templates that are there for job description. And we're going to see it. We're going to look at it in the course of this discussion. We'll go through the template for job description. And what he's saying here is that every accounting officer, head of department, unit, and supervisor must be able to align job description and responsibility to their downline officer within the minor and the major, the primary and the secondary, beginning and putting it in a descending order so that they will be able to confirm their own business job objectives and with an agreed performance standard, which is the appraisal we're running. So we'll be able to look at it through your SPADEV. This is what you are expected to do. This is what you are expected to do. This is what they are expected to do. How far have you gone on this? How best have you met your target? And how far was your timeline within the goal setting that has been given to you? I think this is what this is speaking to. Next slide, please. Hello, Oloko. Thank you. Target setting. Target setting. We're speaking to issue of target setting here. And that is the same thing as we're seeing under this job description. What is target setting? We set targets. This is the process of deciding what is to be accomplished. That is performance planning. At the beginning of the year, we have a performance planning. This is what is expected of every officer. That is why we have SPADEV, where we have the half year and the full year appraisal system. And that is where we set targets. Every person writes within the scaling of 1 to 10, what you are expected to get or accrue to, what number of marks you are supposed to get based on what you have done. So we set targets for our jobs. And that is the process of deciding what is to be accomplished. That is performance planning and devising a plan to achieve the desired results at a given period of time. That is implementation process. The target setting sessions must be carried out by superior and its subordinate at the beginning of every appraisal period with agreed goals for the period. This is straightforward. For every year, every downline and upline are there. We'll sit down together and say, yes, this is what is expected of you as L&D officer. This is what is expected of you as a line manager in planning. This is what is expected of you as an internal auditor. This is what is expected of you in the beginning of the year. And by the mid-year, the target that has been set for you needs to be appraised and see how far you've gone through it. After that, again, the same target that has been spelled out, you go through it by the end of the year to see how far you've done. Now, target setting must be carried out by the superior and the subordinate at the beginning of every appraisal year with agreed goals. Using the SMART principle to ensure that set goals, aims, or targets are accomplished. And when we say SMART, I'm sure all of us know about this. SMART means specific for us. Our aim can be measurable, and also it can be very meaningful. Why it is measurable? It's not only measurable by numbers, it should be meaningful. The A should be attainable. It's not only something that we attain, it's something that is achievable. We have the R, which is relevant. It's not only relevant, but it's very, very realistic. Then the T is timed, and that is time-bound. Next slide, please. Now, I want to explain that SMART in straightforward, is a straightforward thing, but then just let's look at it this way again. What's specific? When we speak into our job description, what's specific about it? We have target and objective that should be very, very specific. What we need to do, we need to be specific about it. We say when you don't train them, you don't blame them. As line manager, we need to tell our downlines what they need to do, the target and objective they need to accomplish, and we should be specific about this. So target and objective should be specific. The individual should also be able to understand. That's why I put a capital lock. Should be able to understand his or her objective within with little or no supervision. It should be measurable. Each target and objective must be able to describe in specific terms the size and duration. It should be achievable. Targets and objectives should be achievable, but at the same time challenging. The individual should also be able to control the objective. That is, he or she must have the necessary resources and authority. It should be relevant. It should be related to the job. Yes. Each target and objective must be realistic and relevant to individual role and a subset of the manager's, organization, MDAs, or accounting officers' objectives. Challenging and broadening experience can also be highly relevant to service and or personal development. Time-bound. The objective must include by when standard statements. By when? When an assignment is given, you should know exactly when you are supposed to submit back. When assignment is given, you know exactly when you are supposed to turn it in, even without being told. And if you need to ask, you ask, when are you expecting this from me, sir? Ma, sir, there was something you gave me, I'm still working on now. In the area of priority, when are you expecting this? Do you want this before that one? You should be able to ask. You should be able to speak with your downlines. You'll be able to speak with your upline there. They are ready to listen to us when we are ready to talk to them. So next step, next line, please. Next slide.
Okay, sir. Before the next slide, sir, someone private chat me that you are not audible.
Wow.
Please, I purposely disabled the chat box because of the distraction. So can you make use of your emojis and let us know if the facilitator is audible? You can still use your emojis to signify. Hello? Okay, can you make use of the chat box now? Let us know if the facilitator is audible. Is audible. Very audible. Okay. Thank you.
Are we sure I'm audible?
Yes, sir. Confirm, sir. Go ahead, sir.
Thank you. So can I go on now?
Go ahead, sir.
Thank you. Now, job description template. I spoke to it the last time. I said there are templates for job description. And it's not something that will just come by vacuum or will just come by accident. For every job that we run in service, for every cadre, for every sub-cadre, for every officer, male and female, any grade level for that matter, everyone has a job description. And that is what we're going to be appraised on. That is what we're going to be valued on. That is what we're going to be promoted on. That is what we're going to be celebrated on. That is what we're going to be queried on. That is what we're going to be asked to sit and discuss. So, job description templates must include amongst, but not the list of this following I'm going to list out. 1, title of the position. Title of the position. Let me put my title. We'll start from there. Title of the position: Assistant Director, Admin and HR. Assistant Director, Procurement. Director, Accounts. No, they call it Finance and, Finance and Accounts. So all of this one, there must be a title to it when we have a job description. Then location of the job, that is the department where you belong to. Finance and Accounts, Admin and HR, Budget, Planning, Internal Audit. It might even have division. Admin and HR, it can be Workforce Planning. It can be General Admin. It can be HROM and S. It can be this and that. So that one also should be part of your job description. How many numbers of direct subordinates do you have? I am Director, Admin and HR. I have 4 subordinates. I have 6 subordinates. It must also be included in that template of job. That's why I said for every MDAs, there should be a job description for each officer. A JD is something that is compulsory. Officers must know what they needed to do. When you don't give them the template of what they need to do, how do you now measure their job? How do you measure their KPI? How do you appraise them based on their skills and competencies? How do you run their SPADEF? There should be something that will make you to, there should be a standard. Now, one of those things again is reporting to who? There is nobody that's not reporting to anybody. Even Director, Admin and HR reports to the accounting officer. The accounting officer also reports to somebody. At the head of service. The head of service also reports to somebody, maybe the MG. But I tell you, you must be reporting to somebody who actually sees, appraise you, celebrate you, reprimand you. And when it comes to issue of punitive system, will be able to guide you into not running foul of the public service system or rules, as it were. Then there must be core purpose of that job. All of these I'm listing, you will see a template to it. There is a practical one that I put in. We'll get to it. So core purpose of that job must be there. I'm using a ministry or agency of government to describe this template, as it were. I have made a template. We'll get to it. So we have core purpose of the job. Then we have key performance area. There's a key performance area for that job you are running. A core one, essential responsibility, output of the position. That's what we call KPA. This is key performance area, not key performance indicator now. This is key performance area. And that includes the core job that you're doing, the essential responsibility you are supposed to do, the output of that position of the job you handle. Then the roles as responsibility of that job will also be stipulated. We look at leadership complexity. How well are you leading those who are reporting to you? How well are you reporting to your own leaders up there? How are you working with your downlines? How are you leading with your uplines? How are you doing with your contemporaries? How are you doing with all other service staff in the public service? Then the job responsibility or job description, as it were, also will indicate the minimum requirements that you should have in terms of your education, in terms of your experience, in terms of your skills and competencies. You can't tell a primary 6 officer because you think it's good enough. He can write record of service like this thing. His writing is so fine and cursive. It is and this and that. It might be good. It might be exceptional. You now say you should go and do the work of assistant director, admin, and HR, L&D. Maybe because he has something. No, there are educations that requirements that needs to be there. If first degree holder comes in on level 8, no matter how good somebody is, even as a junior officer, maybe a what do I call it now? Somebody who is coming green on level 4 with school sat, or maybe somebody who had an OND, he has just come to serve with us as an intern, and we see this person is essentially brilliant. Is so good. You can't say because he's good, he can write submission, he can do this. At the time he was even serving with us and be an intern, you now want to employ this person, and this person is coming in, and you are saying you are putting him on level 8, or you are putting him on level 10 as an admin officer. No, it doesn't work like that. So the experience must be there. The skills and competencies must also be looked at. Behavioral qualities also must be part of this job description. We're looking at it. Somebody who you know is over temperament person, somebody who doesn't take a shit for an answer, somebody who speaks like he's in a garden or is in a garage, and you say this is the kind of person you want to put in a customer service center, somebody who is going to put in a radio station where you have 767 and somebody is calling. You look at all of those also within the job description template. Then the quality standard also needs to be looked at. Next slide, please. So this is a template for job description. Those things I just mentioned to you now, but I give you. This is a sample, a practical sample of one. I told you, are you going to use any department, CADA, as my template? So I'm not using admin and HR so that you don't say, no, it's only his own he went to bring, that admin person. That's why I'm bringing a finance and accounts. I want to use my account people. I want Babolo and Yalos of our public service. So I'm actually coming to you. So now, this is a job description template that every normal officer should have. Every normal officer should know. Every superior must be able to sit down with their downline and have this at the beginning of the year to know this is what you are expected to have, and this is your target, this is how you have to do it, and this is what I'm going to appraise you on. So this is a template, and this template are just a sample of all of those listed things I gave you. We are now going to look at it practically. Say, I spoke to you the last time. I said title of position. Now, this one we're looking at Deputy Director, Finance and Admin. Mr. Jami, hope you can see this way it is because it's colored green, but the lettering is white. Hope you can see it, right?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. So the title of the position, I'm using a deputy director here, finance and accounts. That's the title of that position. Location of the job, that is the department or division. This person is in finance and accounts. Number of direct subordinates. It shows that it's in this MDA which this person is. I don't know which MDA now. I didn't put any MDA so that at least we should be safe enough to not putting any other person on the spotlight. So number of direct subordinates, this person had 4. But reporting to who? This person is reporting to the permanent secretary or any accounting officer for that MDA for that matter. But we're using a permanent secretary here as our case study. Now, what is the core purpose of the job? What is the core purpose of the job of this Deputy Director of Finance and Accounts? You must have a core purpose of your job as a public servant. As admin and HR, I must have a core purpose of my job. One as specified by my scheme of service, and another one as specified by my upline director. That is that I'm working directly with within the FDA and looking at the mission and vision of that MDA and the generality of the service-wide accomplishment that I must have. So what is the core purpose of the job? The core purpose here that we're using is to provide accounting services to the agency at the macro level, similar to those being rendered at the macro level of the state government. Remember, this person is a deputy director. If it is not a deputy director, it's just an accountant, he will have a core purpose of his job. It might not be as high level as this. It might be on this same level. It might be something very, very lower than this, depending on the job he's supposed to do. Now, what is the key performance area? You know, remember we speak to that the last time when I spoke to issue of core, essential responsibility, and the output of the key position of this person. What are we expecting from this person? One, to provide accounting services that's one. Two, to coordinate the daily activities of finance and accounts department of the agency while ensuring compliance with financial regulation, Lagos State Government Public Finance Management Law 2011, and other treasury circular, and to ensure effective service delivery. This is what we are expecting. This is what we are expecting from this person who is the deputy director. So this is what we are saying to job description. We are speaking to schedule of duty of this person now. Once you don't have what you need to work with, then you can work without any limits, without even knowing what and where you can be appraised. Now, what are the roles and responsibilities of this Deputy Director of Finance and Accounts? One, ensure compliance with financial regulation or Lagos State Government Public Finance. Two, Management Law 2011 and other treasury circulars. Ensure compliance with accounting codes by all staff under his or her control or supervision. Ensuring adequate supervision, the disbursement of funds, and proper monitoring and accounting of revenue of the agency or any MD that person belongs to. That person must be ready to advise the general manager, the director general, the permanent secretary, the MD, and whatever name the nomenclature of that person is reporting to. Remember, on this same template, we're saying this person is reporting to the permanent secretary. So in this wise, this person must be able to advise that permanent secretary, as it were, not general manager here, of all financial matters and treasury circular, because that is your own area of concentration. That is where you are best at. Your accounting officer might not be an accountant, but you as an accountant, you are the one that should advise on financial matters and treasury circulars. The maintaining proper accounting record, such as books of account, main and subsidiary ledgers. Then you must ensure prompt rendition of all returns, such as consolidated revenue reports, bank reconciliation statements, revenue and expenditure returns, and financial information reports, monthly, quarterly, and annually as required by stakeholders. Finally, here, this person, out of the roles and responsibility, should be able to collaborate in the preparation of the MDA's budget proposal and ensuring effective budgetary control by matching and comparing budget figures with actual expenditure or revenue, as the case may be, and advising the accounting officer appropriately. Next slide, please. Now, this is the second page of the template. Now we speak to issue of leadership complexity. What is leadership complexity? What is expected of this person who is holding up this job description? You should be responsible for all financial aspects of the MDA. And this requires increasing specialized knowledge and technical skills in area of financial reporting, tax, and treasury. Wọ́n ní tó bá fi èèyàn jẹ oyè àwòdì, ó yẹ kó lè gbé àṣà ni. Sorry, I will translate. Uneasy lies the head that wears the crown. When you are made a leader, you should be able to lead and lead successfully. And that is why in the leadership complexity of this job description, this person as a deputy director, finance and account, should be able to have an increase of specialized knowledge and technical skill in area of finance reporting, tax and treasury. Once you know your job, you'll be able to control the whole of our affairs. But once you don't know it, or you are not as good as that in it, then believe me, your downline might not even see you as that serious as you should be, and you are looked down at them by them if you don't have what it takes. Now, there must be a minimum required for every job description that you are putting somebody on. And this one is spelled out in the scheme of service. A level 8 officer, admin and HR, a deputy director, finance and accounts. The minimum requirement of education he or she must have, at least at the beginning of his entrance, must be a BSc, finance, accounting, banking, and stuff like that. And I know within the service year, when that person is moving up, he must have an ICANN or ACA and all of stuff like that. Professional qualification must be there, but it must be specified. So bachelor's degree is expected of this person, higher national diploma in accounting, business administration, finance, or related field. Professional qualification is an added advantage. And in this case of these finance and accounts, account professional certification is necessary, is expected, is compulsory, because if you don't have it by the scheme of service or public service rule and extant circular, that person will only stop at level 14. I'm sure we will not be able to move beyond 14 to 15 as an accountant. So that's what this one is speaking to. Experience, minimum of 15 years work experience. This one actually do not speak to the fact that when you are coming in on a new entrant, the minimum work experience you will have been spelled out. But when you are growing in service, you will have had more years. I know there are people who have not spent 15 years in service, and they can get as much as deputy director, and they will get to deputy director. It depends on how far they are able to move within the timeline. It depends on where you come from. Somebody can come in even from outside public service if it's a external recruitment or appointment that is done, and as far as deputy director or even a level 17 or 15 without this year of experience in public service. But when you add up what they had in private service, what he has in the public service, it might be 15 years, but years of experience is also important here. Then the skills and competencies that is expected of this deputy director of finance and accounts should be problem solving. It should be problem solving. Professional competence is compulsory. That should be there. Good interpersonal skill is also expected. Now, behavioral qualities, good team player. You should be a good team player. Honesty, that is expected of every account staff. Ability to delegate. If you don't even delegate, now, you can't run an account, finance and account, even as a deputy director, and you don't delegate. How do you want to do it? And I know that is that's normal. Sense of commitment, strong perseverance, strong multitasking ability. That's sure. So all of this we're still speaking to is job description. You see, job description is not something that we just take and say job description. Hey, look, job description. Go and give me your job description. No, it's beyond that too. It's a professional statement that must be adhered to, not just go and take one page of book and write. This is template for job description, and this is a service policy paper, not just something I draw from my head. Standard qualities, quality standards. customer service standard, ensure time delivery of all assignments. When you run this template, it must be signed off and approved by your general manager, director general, permanent secretary, whoever that is who's the accounting officer will sign off on this. The staff also will sign off on this. The director, admin, and HR will sign off on this. And you put your date, and it became a proper document for you at the beginning of the year. And when you are looking at your job description and you are speaking to your SPADEF, and you are saying, no, lose company because that person don't like me. So it is normal. The director, admin, and HR, and the accounting officer can just tell you, can you bring the job description we have at the beginning of the year and what we expected of you to do? And let's just match it with what you have done also. And that one will be able to know either they don't like me or they don't like my face. So next slide, please. Let's move on. I'm sure this is clear for all of us. Please, Mr. Jam, before I go on, I want to be sure this template is clear to all of us. Let me have a sign that this is all right.
Okay.
So I want you are the one speaking for everyone. Be sure. If for
Participants,
anything, let us
please. Are you all clear with the templates? Let your emoji speak for you, please.
All right, I think I have enough. I have enough. It's okay. I'm seeing those who are my mentors, my big ones there. Giving that. Thank you.
Thank you.
Job description and duty statements. When we say job description, we all know what it is now. So it's clear to all of us. But what we call duty statements is more of a job description, but there is a statement that is correlated with job description. And this is a well-written duty statement which contain action words that accurately describe what is to be done. Duty statements should focus on primary, current, normal, daily duties and responsibility of the position, not incidental duties, and employee qualification or performance or temporary assignments. Related or similar duties should be combined and written as one statement. Each duty statement should be a discrete, identifiable aspect of the work assignment, described in 1 or 3 sentences, and should be outcome-based, allowing for alternate means of performing the duties. Changes in technologies, preference of employees and supervisors, and accommodating of workers with disability without altering the nature of and or the duty itself. This is a clear explanation. Next step, please. Thank you. Now, this is a sample of duty statements. You know, when we're looking at the templates, when we were writing the template out and say this is how it is, there are some areas where we have duties and responsibility. That is where we have duty statement. That's what we call duty statement. How do you come about this statement? How do you write it? What are the things that you should be involved in? What English does it take? Is there any technical words that should go into it? So let's look at it. So that when you are writing your duties and responsibility, you don't just write anyhow, carry file, file, the wash car, then check engine. Then no, there are ways you need to write. So let's look at this. Examples of a duty statement are: 1, compile report on a quarterly basis. 2, assuming an account officer works with deputy director, finance and accounts, and you're asking that he should put all his jobs, duties and responsibility. How do we write it? This is an example. He compiles report on a quarterly basis to director or deputy director, finance and accounts. 2, adjust height of lattice tools. I think this is speaking to an engineer or stuff. So it also writes duties and responsibility based on what do you do here, you compile. This one, what do we do? You adjust. This one is talking about a driver. It said drives tractor to work sites. That is one of the duties and responsibility. Drives tractor to work site. It's a statement that is clear, straightforward. You must know what you are writing. You must know what your job is all about. Don't write an ambiguous job responsibility to yourself. Something that is open and clear. This is a plumber. This is a what do we call these people now? Office managers. Somebody who is working under the Ministry of Works, who is a plumber, or somebody who works as mason or something. Open valves to flush pipe is a responsibility, maybe a major responsibility, but you must write it in a direct way that is clear. People know exactly what your responsibility is all about. Somebody is also speaking to this. Listen to customer at counter. It's a job responsibility, but the way you have exemplified it is so clear and is unambiguous. And that's the way you are going to be matched with the job you have done and the way it has been listed. Compares department expenses with budget. I think this is about account person also again. Now, duty statement typically contains 3 parts. Please, let's look at this. Duty statement typically contains 3 parts. 1, the verb. 2, the object. And 3, the purpose. When we are writing our job responsibility and duties, it should have 3 parts: the verb, the object, and the purpose. Example of these parts of duty statement as shown below. 1, the verb is to collect. Collect what? The object is financial data. What is the purpose of that collection you have done? Is to evaluate budget requests. So when you are writing your job description, you must be able to have a verb of what you want to do. There must be an object to that, what you want to do, and there must be a purpose of what you needed doing. As an account officer here now, you need to collect financial data. To do what? To evaluate budget requests. 2 is to conduct analytical studies. To do what? To support financial planning. That's how to write a job description. To compile is a verb. Compile is a verb. What's the object of this verb you want to use? Enrollment data. What is the purpose of the data you want to enroll? It's for the distribution to administrators. Now, look at ICT person now. The verb is to clean. Clean what? Clean computer equipment. And for what purpose? In conformance with established schedules. Look at a driver. The verb is to drive. Drive what? Pick up truck carrying supplies. For what purpose? To job sites. So if you are putting up a job responsibility, what do we do? I have to drive a pickup carrying supplies to the job site at every point in time that is requested, needed, or directed. That's a job responsibility. Not ambiguous, straightforward, clean and straight. 1, the last one, overhaul and repairs. What are you overhauling? What are you repairing? There must be something to it. That is equipment. That equipment is for what purpose? Needed purpose. Overhaul and repair. What are we repairing? You want to repair something in the garage, in the office, in the workstation, but there should be an object we are repairing. What is the purpose of repairing it? It might be on for a daily assignment or when it is needed. I hope this is clear. Next slide, please. Sajami, let's move. I still have like 9 slides to go. So what are the content of job description? Content. I think we spoke to some of this. I'm just going to pass this over. This one is compulsory. We need to know it. The content of job description should identify. Let's look at that word. The content of job description should identify and describe, one, mental function. The mental function of that job must be described, must be identified. Must be identified. The relations with others also must be identified. All of this was spoken to within the course of the slide, but then let's just look at it. Physical demands, the job that demands strength must be identified. Something that has the strength of somebody with 100 kg, 80 kg strength, and you go and give one fellow person like me. God help us. So you must identify that. The physical demands must also be looked at. That is movement. Somebody who is impaired by mobility, that is movement. Maybe is had a kind of disability. You don't give that person to go and do the job of somebody who needs to move around and walk around and run from ministry to ministry. No. Then physical demands also has to do with auditory. Somebody who cannot hear, who is audio impaired, somebody who has issue within the hearing system, and you want to put at the radio station an LTV8, that should be the one that will be taking, Physical demands also will speak to issue of taste and smell. Somebody who works in fire service, somebody who works in the kitchen, or somebody who works in catering, and doesn't have a sense of taste or smell. By the time the whole house will burn down, that person will not even know. And when the rice is without sugar or without salt, I think it's an issue. I would know that somebody who is going to work in our staff canteen and has newly built as it were, and the person does not taste and smell. I'm sure the chairman of the union will tell you that this person is not part of the person we need in that area. Maybe you just go and put him in another place. The issue of vision is also there. The person must be able to see. The sight issue is also very important in a place that is necessary. Some people who are impaired can actually work in different places and can be very, very good at their job. But where it is very necessary that their vision should be clear and 100%, you don't need to place them there for the sake of their life and the sake of the service. Environmental conditions and physical surroundings is also important. The equipment we use for our job also determine and identify where we can work. Then we look at assets also, and that's also very, very important. Next slide, sir. So I told you I'm going to use a practical example for job description. And this one now, I've taken the principal officers. We speak to issue of verb, we speak to issue of, what do I call it now? We use issue of verb, we look at, can you go back to that? I think I lost that now. Those things were, one more. Yes, we look at issue of verb. No, you are there. We look at issue of verb, we look at issue of object, and we look at issue of purpose. And we think of how to write our job description. Now, you can go back to where we're coming from. I only want to use this as an illustration. Now, we are going to look at how job description is written. No, you are there. No, go back one more. Yeah, thank you. Leave it at that. We're going to look at how job description are actually written. You can sit down with your director admin and HR, your uplines, and sit with the downlines who are going to have this job, and sit down and write as the templates that has shown us how to write it. Now, I'm bringing a practical example of a particular MD. I think I'm speaking to issue of public procurement agency here. I'm not speaking admin. So I want to be free from admin tonight, so that it doesn't look I'm speaking admin, because I know all of us in here are statewide officers. So I want to speak to I spoke to issue of finance and accounts. Now I'm going to procurement, because these are my family home. These are my first home. So I need to speak around them. Don't worry. I'm sure the DG procurement will be happy having me on this. So now I'm going to use a public procurement agency as a basis of what I'm going to speak to as a job description, without the name of any particular officer for that post. I am not putting any particular officer on that post. However, when you say that Director General, there is no two Director General in procurement, as it were, for now. So if you see this one, I am sure what he does and the job that I'm describing may not be halfway what he's doing as a job, but just as a guide to all of us. That's why this one is being set. So with due respect to my DG, sir, permit me to just run this as a part of subset of what you do. So I'm going to look at the principal officers of public procurement, putting in cognizance that it can be for any NDAs. So now let me start with the DG. What are the responsibilities? What are the job description that I want to accrue to him now? We say responsible. That responsibility is a verb. Responsible for what? The execution of the policy and day-to-day administration of the affairs of the agency. This is a job responsibility. It's clear, it's unambiguous. The DG is responsible for the execution of the policy and day-to-day administration of the affairs of that agency. 2, he consider, set, amend, and review prior benchmark for the application of the provision of the law by procurement entities. I pick that again. The DG of that agency consider, number 1. He sets, number 2. He amend. Remember, this is a regulatory agency. So he will consider, he sets, he amends, and review prior benchmark of the application of the provision of the public procurement law, Lagos State, by all the procuring entities. Number 3, he considers and approves policy on public procurement. He makes responsibility in respect of any procurement guidelines or regulations to be made pursuant to the provision of Lagos State Public Procurement Law. He approves the employment of directors of the agency because an agency made by the Act of Parliament or Assembly. And the position of directors are something that he has priority to nominate, influence, and ask within the parameter of approval of government. So that is his job. I'm sure that as a clear feature is a job of the Director General by what their act speaks to. If he receives and consider for approval the audited account of Lagos State Public Procurement Agency, he gives such other directives and or performance of such other functions not being inconsistent with the provision of the state law as may be necessary or achieved by the objective of the law. And any other assigned responsibility by the head of service, honorable commissioner, and what happened? Somebody is sharing another thing to me. Oh. Hello, Mr. Jamiu. Somebody has
sharing what?
Broken it. Somebody has gone in with another slide for me, different from what I have. The slide I'm having here is different from my own slide, though.
Okay, I'm coming, sir. Are you sure you are seeing another slide? Okay, who is Bankole?
I'm seeing another slide. It's showing me allowance is the monitoring benefit of other business income.
Don't worry, sir. Who is this person? Okay. Okay, sorry about that. I've removed him. You can continue now, sir. Are you still with us, sir? Mr. Awe? Please, I'm sorry, everyone. It's like network have kicked the our facilitator out. Let me reach out to him. Hello, Mr. Awe, are you back? Please, sorry. I think it's network issue. Person that shared the slide was the one that disrupted this call now. Wow. Are you in, sir? If you are in, just raise your hand. I can't find your name here, sir. The facilitator. If you are in, raise your hand up so that I can identify you. Facilitator. Mr. Awe, are you here now? No, I didn't said participants should raise their hand. I want to identify the facilitator. Please. Please, participants should bring down their hand. Okay. Okay, unmute yourself, sir.
Hello, thank you.
Okay, sorry for that.
I'm actually using my phone because it's telling me I cannot connect back again because
Okay.
the host removed me from host removed me from this thing. I think that person that intruded was the one that caused this problem.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Sorry about that, sir. Can you still see the slide now, sir?
Yes, I'm trying to put up the slide on my system so that I can see well. Because this is a phone, I may not be able to see well on that phone. But I'm connecting my laptop so
Okay.
that I can just have the slide. Just
All right,
1 minute. I'll do that. I am on my phone now. But for me to go on the slide, I want to connect on my system. So we spoke to issue of the DG, right?
Yes, sir.
Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So next slide, please. Next slide. I think we are done with his own side. The next slide is
Director of Finance and Accounts.
Yes, slide 19. Director of Finance and Account. Thank you. Okay. Now, Director of Finance and Accounts. The job responsibility as we accrue to this one says funds processing and disbursement of funds to employees for the agency and third party having claim to it. Ensuring safekeeping of funds of the agency. Ensure proper recording of accounting records of all transactions emanating from directorate concerning the agency. Handling all bank-related transactions for the agency. Accounting and proper control of revenue. Updating of all accounting records and books of the agencies. Filing of reports to third parties in the prescribed form and on timely basis. Ensuring thorough reconciliation and preparation of reconciled back stream management. That is what is
job description we placed for Director of Finance and Accounts. So we're actually going to look at all whatever that accrues to finance and accounts accrues to all the MDAs, not primarily the public procurement. We're just using this as a basis. Now, Director Admin and HR, that is the engine room of all MDAs. And I'm proud to say this one because that's where I belong. That is the engine room of all the MDAs. That's the oxygen we all breathe with. So, with all due apologies to anybody that feel spited. Anyway, that's on a lighter note. So, Director Admin and HR, responsibility, general administration. This general administration encompasses different strata of, I don't know. I am going to still have a slide that's going to explain area of this Director, Admin, and HR, these 5 divisions of HR. Is very, very wide. So it speaks to issue of general administration of all the MDA which that person actually domicile. We speak to issue of workforce planning and recruitment. That person speaks to issue of learning and development. Employee relations is also one of the responsibility job description of this Director at HR. Then human resources measures and accountability. All of these are divisions, and this division also in most cases are lead officers that actually man this. The Director Admin and HR is to oversee, supervise, monitor accounts for all of these areas of management. Now, next one, internal auditor. Area of responsibilities, payment vouchers, the checks and controls must be done. It monitors the revenue of the MDA. It also runs into bank reconciliation. It monitors, oversee, and checkmate the salary payrolls. Staff verifications are actually done by internal auditors. Project inspections, pre-inspections of items. With all of these that I mentioned, we just look at the verb, we look at all of those 3 issues that I've mentioned the last time to just run a job description for this person. Program analyst, this is ICT. What do they do? What do ICT do? Sorry, I'm missing it. Sorry, I missed this slide. Okay. Now, the program analyst, it makes sure that the first liner user support all of the user departments. He is a supporter to all of them. All of us use laptops, we use scanners, we use printers, and they are the first line of users support for all of us. They maintain our computer system, so they put up a job description on all of this. So job description will be explicit, unambiguous, and written within those 3 aspects of which I mentioned earlier. So maintenance of computer system, maintenance of network, maintenance of agency website and hosting renewals, maintenance and support of agency intranet and mail system, training the users on computer applications, training the user on computer and UPS maintenance, maintain uninterrupted internet access at all times, maintenance of social media platform for the MDAs, purchasing of computer and accessories, ICT items and software, liaising between the agency and the Ministry of Innovation, Science and Technology, that is MIST, in respect of all issues relating to ICT, evaluating ICT-related proposal from consultants and giving recommendation as deemed fit. Then, secretaries or legal advisor. This one arrange meetings of the board and its constituent committee, preparation of agency and minutes of meetings, conveying decision of boards to the members of the board, arranging for payment of allowances of members of the board, and other related matters. General performance of all duties affecting the agency and may be assigned to him by the Director General. And just note that on this particular instance, the legal advisor, as it were, is the secretary to the board and also members of the board as a secretariat. So his real job might not be the same as legal advisor to other MDAs. There is a peculiarity of this to the MDA. It's a regulatory agency with an act of government that set it up. So for every legal advisor or secretary in other MDAs, they might not have the same job because they might not be regulatory body. They might not even have they might not even have an act that binds them or any responsibility to any board member. So whoever that's the legal advisor in any MDA will actually have a peculiar job description that will suit where he or she works. Budget and planning. So our budget and planning officer also have their responsibility. That is the preparation and coordination of annual budget of any MDAs where they belong. They monitor the implementation and performance of budget of the MDAs where they domicile. They coordinate monthly revenue and expenditure return to MEPB, and they also coordinate all database activities in the MDAs where they belong. They assist in monitoring of programs and projects of the MDAs where they belong. So next slide. Mr. Jami, I don't know if you are looking at the slide. I think I'm using my own slide in here now. So you can also be following my slide the way I go. I think we're on the same page. All right, thank you. The procurement department. Sorry, I have names there I didn't remove. That's an oversight. And I'm sure some of these people are even retired now. Some are not retired anyway. So forgive that name. I don't intend to put personality to it. So procurement department, what do? They organize procurement plan workshop. They do technical review of procurement process, letters from MDAs. They do capacity building for procurement officers statewide, review of procurement documents, management of emergency procurement, management of procurement programs for effective implementation of procurement purposes. These are job description for all of these officers, as it were. It can be more than this, it can be different from this, it can be coined in another different way, depending on the work that is expected of them in any MDs where they find themselves. So the monitoring, evaluation, and compliance, they call it MEC. Monitoring, enforcement, and compliance. It's monitoring, enforcement, and compliance. Don't mind that nomenclature I put there. So it's to monitor project implementation to ensure that projects are delivered on time and within the budget to specification, and that funds released are utilized appropriately. They carry out in conjunction with procurement entities, MDA, site visit, project management, and stuff like that. All of this also is depending on the MDAs where you belong to. You'll be able to have a job specification, your job description, and that your schedule of job will also be spelled out from the beginning of the year with all those parameters and templates that we have given. So I'll move on. Slide 23. Now, then the issue of, I want to come home now to human resource and administration, that is admin and HR. This admin and HR, this is just a hybrid. It's a summary of what it is. I think when we were talking to issue of principal officer the last time, I mentioned 5 areas, and I didn't mention what it takes after it. But I say that all of those 5 areas also have some other units of job where you need to work, and all of them have their job description. For every of this one must have a job description. Director, admin, and HR is the head of every administrative part of any MDA, as it were. After the accounting officer of that MDA, the person that holds on all human resource administration of any MDAs, as it were, is the director, admin, and HR. And that person would definitely have some downlines who are heads of each unit of those 5 units of admin and HR. Who have head workforce planning and recruitment. We have our head for learning and development. We have our head for employee relations, and we have our head HR measures and accountability. We have head for general administration. This looks like this is an organogram of a particular cadre. For every cadre, there's always an organogram also, and that organogram splits down to the last bottom point of every officers of the MDAs. And for every officer of the MDAs, there is always a job description for each of them. Now, for workforce planning and recruitment, there is a job that we'll call on workforce planning. There's an officer who has a schedule of workforce planning job. This person must have a job description. And that person, one of those works that he actually manages is to work on workforce planning. That person is on appointments, is on selection. Interns and the inductions are also managed by all of these officers. Deployment and transfer, then we have professional development and learning. It's sad to say sometimes when you get to some MDs and you ask an officer, and I've seen this one in one of the promotion interview, and when they ask somebody, what do you do? He said, I am the one in charge of nominal role. Okay, nominal role. I said, what is your duties and responsibilities, your job description? He said, nominal role. I review nominal when people go, when people come back, when some people. I said, nominal role. Admin and HR officer, if you are on level 8 or 10, and you said, the only thing you do is nominal role. Nominal role. As good as it is, yes, nominal role is part of a job of a unit of a. But if nominal role is the only thing you do, and that is what you are going to be appraised on, then I think we have not gotten the job description as it were. And some of us also, unluckily, or maybe luckily, or maybe prefecture, we just want, some of us, let me use admin and HR as an example. You are a officer on admin and human resources. But fortunately, you find yourself in a ministry where the core job you are supposed to do is not what you are doing. And this is what affects most of us when we are running promotion exam. When they ask you questions related to your job, and you will not be able to explain. Let me give an example. Somebody is Muslim Pilgrims Board, Christian Pilgrims Board, Art and Culture, MVVA, which one again? We can go into any ministry for that matter, where the core admin and HR job are not done. If this one happens, what do we do? What do we do? Because some officer has lost themselves into vision when they get to a ministry or MDs where primarily their main job is not where they place them. And you come back asking them about their major core admin job. They don't know. And sometimes you may not even know that one. Where they put you, do you know what they do there? I have an example. I remember one of those days. It was maybe when I was getting my level 15 promotion interview. And I remember Mr. Bangboye at that. I think I have PS Olamusa and some of these eloquent cerebral PSs. They were there. And Mr. Bangboye was the one that was asking all of those questions that has to do with admin. For all of us that are admin there. And you wonder, I say, this man, is he an admin officer or procurement officer or an engineer? Because for every career where you come from, there is no question he doesn't have for you. He's all rounder. There is no question he doesn't have for you. And that is because as an advisor he was, then from start to finish, he was able to go all around all of those MDAs. And he masters what they do there. He was an ambassador of admin and HR cadre in all of those places he went. And that was a lesson I learned. That for any MDAs I find myself, I will learn anything you do there. If it's computer, I will learn. If it is what I will learn. If it is anything you do, I will learn, especially when I was also in procurement. And that was what helped me. Because when I got in, I was thinking they would ask anything at me and Aisha. And I was just being a bit overflowed. I said, what do you want to ask on admin? I think I should be able to do fairly well. I was confident of myself somehow. And when you look at me, I say, which MD are you from? And I say, Public Procurement Agency. And the man looked at me. The only question he asked me was just on procurement. He was asking, what is this supposed to mean? What is this supposed to mean? And thank God, I was an active staff in procurement. I write submissions. I do most of those things that I needed to do in procurement. I was up my task as an admin officer in procurement. And when he was asking, I was just laughing inside myself. Thank God, that I just don't go to procurement for procurement's sake. But because I went there, I learned with them, I dine with them, I drink with them, I eat with them, and I know what procurement is all about. So I was speaking procurement officer, and he was so happy and said, yes, you are an ambassador of admin and HR in procurement. And that was what saved me. I don't know anything about procurement. So if you go to MVA, if you go to Pilgrim Sport, if you go to Water Corporation, if you go to Ibile Oil and Gas, if you go to wherever they put you, you should be able to make sure that you don't lose that your Bible, public service rule. You don't lose that your hymn, that scheme of service. You don't lose your circular. You don't lose all extant rules. You must be up and doing wherever you meet yourself. Don't say because I am engineer. You ask somebody, a medical doctor, and say, come, how many days as leaves that somebody on level 7 or 10, it's funny. It's funny. There are some cadres, all they know is about that, their own job. Any other job, it doesn't concern them. It doesn't concern them. Please let it concern you. And that is what I'm going to speak to on in India. That for whichever ministry we find ourselves, let's study the organogram. Let's study the job you need to perform. Know your own particular job of that your cadre that you belong to. Don't forget yourself outside. Don't throw yourself outside just like that. So on this note, I'm speaking to the organogram of admin and HR. So when you get to L&D, you have appraisal part of it. Talent management is there. Training is there. Career development is there. Success planning is there. Succession plan is there. So when you go talk to about employee relation, issue of grievances, disciplinary, industrial relations, and all of those stuff are there. Issue of appeal, welfare services. And if I ask tomorrow and just say, okay, there's a department in public service office that is managed by a director of welfare who manages our heads, who manages our canteen, our staff buses, a fleet of cars and stuff like that. And they ask you, what section, what unit of admin and HR do that person belong? What are we going to speak to? Are we going to say general admin? Are we going to say employee relation? If tomorrow they ask you, say share promotion in Manche Land, okay, who speaks to issue of SPADEV? Is it L&D? Is it HR measure accountability? I know there are issues around those two I speak to, and it's intentional that I say that. For many years, you say, L&D alone is SPADEV. Is it really L&D? What is this SPADEV supposed to do? Is it not to measure HR personnel, officer? Is it not to look at the accountability of what they do? So, more of HR measures and accountabilities to SPADEV. But also, it's subjective back to L&D because your training need analysis is going to be taken away from your SPADEV. Many other things also are going to be, the training needs are going to be looked at, your activities will be looked at. So it actually goes into the two ways and not only particular end. So general administration, office manager, those are the manager that you don't need qualification to become this manager. You know, sometimes you can be on level 7, you can be office manager. Even level 6 can be office manager. He will always be manager among manager because he manages the offices. Water, toilet, transport, fleets, logistics, registry, open, secret, and all of that. So all of this one are issues around organogram. So on this note, I want to go for the conclusion. And the take home that I have today is one. There are 4 bullets, and I want us to pick it. 1, dear colleagues, public servants, let us try to succinctly identify and determine in detail our particular job duties and requirements and the relative importance of these duties for the accomplishment of our set targets. I'll pick that again because that's my conclusion. It's a take home for all of us. My dear colleagues, it is good enough for us to succinctly identify, let's determine in details our particular job duties and requirements. Ẹ má jẹ́ ká forí àwọn lásán sọ Don't let's just say it on the lip service part of it. We must know in details what are our particular job duties and responsibilities. What are the requirements? We should know the template for our job description. And all of these should have a relative importance of this duty to the accomplishment of our set targets. Also, our job must be properly understood before they can be evaluated. If you don't understand your job, how do you want to evaluate it? We must, our job. Hence, good quality information is required in the shape of our job description, which makes the content and the context of the job very, very clear. Please, my brothers and sisters, let's note that job evaluation is a judgmental, not a scientific process. Thus, every effort must be made to minimize subjectivity. This is achieved by having public officers like functions or organization involved, and by having a number of factors to make judgment about. Finally, let's remember, it is jobs that are evaluated, not job holders. And job can only be evaluated if they are understood. Thank you, and God bless you for listening. So, any question? I'll be ready to take it in the next few minutes.
Let me see your emojis. Your emojis. We are more than 800 here on the call. I'm seeing only 2 emojis. Let's appreciate our facilitator for the time. This is purely practical. And I'm very sure, I'm beating my chest, that if anybody asks you about your job description, you will scatter the ground. It will get to a state that they say, oh, keep short, it's okay, it's okay, it's okay. Yeah, we are in question and answer segment where we need more lights. And please, if you want to ask your question, we have rules. Consider the time and consider others. So here now that the rules is this: your name, your ministry, and your question. And we don't allow story here. And we don't allow any gadget that's not showing proper name. If your gadget is showing Samsung or what have you, we will not welcome your question. I will open floor for the people on the chat box too to make use of it. And please, just go straight to the point. Please ask question. The emoji is okay. Thank you. It's okay. I'm seeing only one person asking question here. Adeshina Afolayan. Unmute yourself. Your name, your ministry. Adeshina. Adeshina, you have the floor. Unmute yourself.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening, sir.
This is Mr. Adeshina Afolayan Olabi, Minister of Agri.
Okay.
Yeah, I thank the speaker for all that he has said. It's well detailed. But I have a question here. The question is, I was taken in by Minister of Agri and then redeployed to Lagos State Agri Development Authority. Now I'm in the director cadre and on the field. Now, if I'm asked to give my job description, am I to write the job description as a fisheries officer, or am I to write the job description as an extension officer working in Lagos State Agri Development Authority? That's just what I want to get a clarification on. Thank you.
You have the floor, sir. Facilitator, sir.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Folayo. You see, I spoke to this at the beginning of, in the course of this interaction, that the cadre where you are, sometimes you might find yourself in somewhere very different from that cadre. However, if there is a set goal for you, and it's a job description they have given you, that job description is what you are going to be appraised on. And that is what you are going to speak to. And I give you an example that at the time I was having my promotion exercise, the PS at that time who was actually asking the question did not ask me about admin and HR. He only asked me, which ministry am I coming from? And I said, yes, I work with Public Procurement Agency. And he started asking me a related question of public procurement, not jeopardizing my cadre. He has that cognizance to it. So if you are in a Greek and they place you somewhere where you need to work, I've always just told you, don't lose your home because you're still coming back there. Ẹni tó fi ẹ̀dẹ̀ sílẹ̀ tó fẹ̀dẹ̀ sílẹ̀ tó lọ sẹ́dẹ̀ tó bá padà dé láti ẹ̀dẹ̀ yẹn náà ló máa padà sí. So when you leave your ministry or your core cadre for another place, one day, you will still come back to that same place. And that is what will happen. So the set goal they give you, the job description that you add with your downline or upline, there is what you are going to follow. However, that does not mean they will not ask you about your cadre question. They will ask you, but you must know about the job you are doing. They are only asking you about the job you are doing. They are only asking you about the job you are doing. That's why it's just specific. So if you are placed in a procurement and that's what you do, you will speak to it. If you work as an admin, you will do. If you work as an agri officer, you will work as an agri officer. So if by extended you are in a special assignment, you will speak to that special assignment. Why you don't forget the cadre where you are coming from. Thank you. Mr. Jami, somebody wrote something. I don't want to forget it. It might not be a real question. He was saying, what is the meaning of OTIC? It's in the chat box there. It's not OTIC. It's OTCI. Office of Transformation, Creativity, and Innovation. So it is not OTIC, it's OTCI. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, sir. Adebayo Adeyinka, unmute yourself.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon. Your name, your ministry.
My name is Adebayo Adeyinka Sombo. I'm from Educational District 6. My question, we just answered one of my question, which is OTCI. I'm not that type it. My second question is, I want to give God the glory for his life, for all he has done for us. We life is an impactful lesson. May God continue to increase him in knowledge. Robbie is doing for him. My question is this: as a teacher, as an HOD, how can my job description be prepared in order to collaborate my down lines? Thank you very much.
Okay, on this note, except you join us in between, there was a standard template we shared, and we also explained what is supposed to be relevant in doing our job description. I also gave an instance where there are 3 things that should also be part of what our job description should look like. And all of those one, if even as a teacher, what you need to do, what you need to write, I mentioned all of those. Though the presentation slide will be pushed back on the platform for us and on the YouTube, so that we can go back to it. We spoke to issue of SMART, so you should look at that. We look at those things you are supposed to write. There were 3 things. The issue of verb, we said you should look at that. So you can actually sit down and write your job description. I think this should be an assignment for all of us anyway, that we can, from tomorrow morning, just look at the job you are doing right now. Look at what does it take me to put up a job description by myself without anybody even telling me. This is what they expect of me. And you go back to your down the upline there. I say, Madam, Madam or Sir, this is the job I do. This is a job description I wrote myself. Does it, is it in tandem with what you have told me I should do? And that job description template must have all the followings that I gave you. It must have a job title, position, the location, number of subordinates, reporting to who. What are the core purposes of your job? Your roles and responsibility, leadership complexity, all of those things. And there is even a template for you there. And I said, when you are writing your jobs and responsibility, now as a teacher, you want to write, you must put a verb of what you want to write. There must an object to that thing, and there must be a purpose to it. Once you have all those 3, you can put up a sentence and it becomes your job. I think it's a very straightforward thing. Go back on the slide, look at the verb, look at the objective, without anybody coming to you to write job description. Sit down and write something on your own. If you push it through, you not need us to look at it. Come back on the platform, put it there. We will look at it together and we'll be able to guide ourselves. Nobody's the knower of all things. So there are many other persons within us that will be able to guide us around it. Thank you.
All right, thank you, sir. Any question? So out of 800 plus, we all understand everything. No question. Okay, let's check the chat box if we are okay. Verb, objective. Okay, thank you so much. Okay. Okay, I think there is no. Okay, could the facilitator explain more? Okay, this one said, who is this? Saula Bashir. So could the facilitator explain more on what is quality standard under job description, please?
Yeah. Quality standard. Yes, I spoke to issue of quality standard in one of the slides, I remember. And what this is speaking to is a very simple thing there. I think it's one of the parameter that is needed for job description. Coming, I want to speak to that. That is the last part of it where we have requirements, behavioral qualities, we have quality standard. Under that quality standard is where we have customer service standard, ensure timely delivery. So when you say quality standard, let me give you an example. For every time when we have a file to treat, they tell you this file as it were, it must be ready within 24 hours. That's a standard. 2, when we are writing letters, there are standard way of writing our letters. I think this one we've been taught around in some few days back, issue around communication, how we write letters, how it goes, what we're supposed to write and what we're not supposed to write. These are quality standards that are there. When we're speaking, I remember when we're having this promotion brief some 2-3 days ago, and the chairman of the commission was speaking to us, and the peers, and somebody was speaking, say, yeah. I say, yeah. I say, well, what is yeah? I say, I didn't say yeah. There's a standard of ways of speaking within public service. So you must have it. There are ways where you dress code. Those are standards. So those standards that is expected of you within the job description that you have done, you must stay by the standard of that job and description of that job you have given out. If you are a director, you must stand that simple standard. That quality standard should be there. If you are a downline, that quality standard must also still be there. It is not about grade level. That's why I said, and I repeated it, that it is not about the person. It's about the job. You set standard for that job, then the person key in. And let me tell you, it is very, very obvious sometimes when you see a downline working so perfectly like an upline. It is always there. You won't believe it. You say, wow, I want any to sort of land. But boy, in level 12, wow. But boy, I've seen somebody, I felt so, hey, he's not looking at paper and he's just talking. He's comfortable talking. But when you even have some people, when they even carry paper self, now voila. So the thing is just for you to have gotten the standard you needed to have and fitting into what templates of that job has brought to you at par. But if you don't have the standard already, and they now bring out and say, this is the job description, this is what you are supposed to work with, this is the template we're giving you, then that's a problem. So if you look back into, I can't really get that particular space in here now, but if you look at it, you see it is one of the standard that is on the template, is on the job description template, and that's the last listed this thing, quality standard. Yes. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, sir. Another question here. Johnson Olubisi said, what is the difference between cadre description and job description?
What do you mean by cadre description and job? Well, let me say the way I understand that person. I will pick it by context, not the context of which that person has. Cadre description, then job description. Cadre is about, I've spoken to this, but let me literally say it this way. Cadre description is about profession of which everybody belongs. That cadre stands in. Admin and HR is a cadre. Finance and account cadre. You have engineering, you have planning, those are cadres. And those one have a fitted profession to a job. But job description is a peculiar job role of every person that belongs into their peculiar cadre. An admin officer will have a job he's supposed to do based on his or her cadre. An accountant will work based on his or her cadre. So job description is a universal language that shows the kind of job you are supposed to do, how to do it, when to do it, and within the job classification. But the cadre part of it is the profession of where you belong. Are you in justice as a lawyer? Are you in admin as an admin and HR officer? Are you in accounts, finance and account as an account officer? Are you in procurement as procurement officer? Are you in lands as lands officer? Are you in LASMA as a traffic officer? That is cadre. You are describing that cadre as it were. But job description is the peculiarity of every individual to the job he or she is assigned to. As an admin and HR officer, I am not expected to have the same job description with my colleague because our job may differ. I may be in learning and development unit where my job description only tallies with that learning and development. That is why we have something like called a specialist or a generalist. That's we have some people, they call them strategists. All they know in their life is about that. Some people only knows about talent management. Some people about workforce planning. Some people know about behavioral science. Some people know about OB, organizational behavior. That is their own area of specialization. So their job description stays on that. So if you are on the other side of it, on the same cadre, your job description might even differs. Even when you are in L&D as a unit, you might have even two of you with different job description based on your grade level. One may be on the supervising level, the other may be on the downline level. So job description is a particular job statement to every individual based on the job they are assigned to. But cadre description is about the profession or cadre where you belong. I hope that's clear.
Very clear, sir.
Thank you.
Ogunlana Nimota, unmute yourself.
Good evening, everybody.
Good
Mr.
evening.
Yes, sir. Thank you, the moderator.
Your name and your
My name,
ministry.
my name is Dupe Ogunlana. I work with the Lagos State House of Assembly Service Commission. Mr. Ware, we really enjoyed that comprehensive, detailed, but scientific in nature. To me, that lecture that you put us through, but you said it's practical. I need to sit down to see how practicable that is going to be to the schedule of duty that I do. My concern is I have a gray area as regards the mandate of a ministry and OTPI. OTPI is Office of Transformation, Creativity and Innovation under the head of service. Recently, the Ministry of Science and Tech just been changed to Ministry of, I don't know whether it is Innovation, Science and Tech. If we have innovation as a mandate of OTCI and at the same time having innovation as a mandate of MIST, I don't know whether I am correct or wrong. Please, I stand to be correct. Thank you.
Okay. Let me explain that to you. That was exactly why I brought the issue of OTCI there. They are a subset of the office of the MG through the head of service, and they have a mandate to create, innovate, and bring every strata of development into government circle and public service, as it were. Now, the nomenclature is what you are looking at, just the name. Innovation can come in. Tomorrow they can say human resource innovation and clinical. Innovation, as it were, the science is revolving. You are speaking to issue of most, which is now called MIST. Sometimes the name of the agency may change. It may not necessarily change the job description, but it might add to it. And I spoke to it in one of my slides, that sometimes they may need to come because there is a change in the name of the agency. There might be a kind of additions into their mission statement. They call it corporate planning in HR. Corporate planning is about looking holistically about your organization. And an MDA or agency is a subset of an organization on its own. So if their mandate is expanded with the innovation they are putting into it, so what they need to do is to sit down, evaluate all the jobs within the MDAs, look at the classes and cadres, then have a representation from a cross-section of the job within the MDA and say, okay, now that I have innovation as part of what I do in MIS, which unit or department does that innovation really comes to? Is it me? Is it you? Is the innovation coming to HR? Is it into the accounts and finance? Is it into budget? Is it into all of us? If it is then what do we do? What parameter do we set? How do we key into this? So they will look at the template of that job description and find a balance within all the cross sections of the cadres and classes within that MDA. And I'm telling you, they will have done that in MIST. So the innovation, as it were, it is not, it is grammar, it is nomenclature. And I tell you, it will be an addition to what they are doing before. It's an addition to what they are doing before. And that addition to what they are doing before also means that your JD may be expanded beyond what you have before. Some other people might be reduced. They will take from what you have and give it to the other person. They take from the other person and push more into it. And that is what it means. It's actually not a problem to any of us. It is more of innovation, and we'll continue to run it. I hope that is clear, ma'am.
Mrs. Ogunlana. Are you
Yes.
clear? You can see
I'm
unmute
clear.
your mic.
Yes,
All
I'm
right.
good. Yes, yeah, thank you.
All right. Jankalawi Afusat, unmute yourself.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening.
I'm Jankalawi Afsat from Office of Auditor General for Local Government. About the job description, the Fibrillator Acts, I want to ask question on key performance areas. He talks on the core value, core responsibility. Then I want to know details of the output of the position of that staff. I want him to explain more on it. Thank you, sir.
Okay, when I speak to key performance area, you all spoke to issue around our KPI. You know what KPI means? Key performance indicator. Once you need to do a job, how to get to that job, and when you get there, at what time, what is your result after it? That's what we're speaking to. The KPI is okay if you have 200. Okay, let me use just a conservative number. Where you work, ma, if you have 50 officers in your MD, and it's part of every one of them submitted at the beginning of the year, you go through the training need analysis. We call it TNA. They will write what training do this officer need, or the officer will write the training that they need. You look at the shortfall of that officer, which is specified by his subordinate or his superior, and you have 50 of your officer, and you are the training officer. You are supposed to make sure that all those officers are setting for training, either bespoke training, either structural training within the department, either seminar, either conference, either whatever training that person is supposed to go. How many of those 50 have you placed on training? What did you do on them? What is their capacity building that you have done? What is their improvement? What is their accomplishment rate? There is going to be a KPI set for you also as an L&D officer. If you are in any other job specification or job description, there is a KPI that is set for you. It's only when you get that one done that you will see yourself when you are being marked for your SPADEF. Not like the SPADEF, they will say, some people do it some other place. Some people, they will stay with you. You know, when I give you something, I will still do it myself. You know, no, you can. That is the KPI. You will look at your key performance indicator. That one will explain your key performance area. And what is the area? One, that is your core job that you are supposed to do. What are the essential responsibility you are supposed to do? Are you doing it? Those are key performance area for you. The output of that position is to see, do we have results? Are people trained? Do they learn? Do they improve? What are they doing different from when they started in January to December? How many number of files are left undone at the end of the year? How many number of responsibility are kept lying and not done? Those are the output. Your output is the result. Output means result. Your input is your responsibility you have actually done. You have make your own input. You've exercised every rules you are supposed to do. You have put in your responsibilities. What is the output of that responsibility? What is the output of those responsibilities? That is results. How best were you able to accomplish the mission, vision, and mandate of that organization, of that MDA? A single person, you cannot make the MDA have the mandates accomplished. But with your own support and your own area, you will have done something. Do you get it now? So that is what it means. Thank you, ma. I hope that will suffice.
Yeah, thank you very much, sir. At this junction, I will love to call it a day. Okay, Omololu, I'm coming. because tomorrow morning we still have another lecture by 10 o'clock on financial regulation, so that we can quickly go to bed and prepare for that. Okay, let me take the last person. Omololu, you are unmute yourself.
Yes, good evening.
Good evening, sir.
Yes, I want to appreciate all that's been done by everybody and their contributions. My own has to do, like, let me just say, my name is Omololu Sonwu. I work at Lagos Television, and some of the KPIs that we have has been mentioned by Mr. Awe, but, you know, ours is more of broadcast professionalism in terms of communication, getting information across to people out there. I'm wondering how we can relate more of our KPIs and some of our targets to some of the things that we're doing, because most times we are professionals in the area of communication. We talk to people, we relate with people, we give out information that the government has to turn out to give out. We also have things that we do concerning educating and talking to the public on how they need to behave better. So I'm saying, I don't know, I'm just looking at how Mr. Aware can also relate some of these things, because there were times that we had the OTCI come around. Yeah, we have our job descriptions there too, but we find at times we find it a little difficult relating to the mainstream there, and most times what we do has to do with communication, just like I said earlier, and those are professional fields. I don't know if there are things that we can do to further help us get some of our jobs done. That's just what I just want to ask first.
Yeah. Thank you, sir. Let me just give this as a word of advice to all of us. See, some of these things are not rocket science, and they are not cast in stone. Some of those things, when we're not clear about them, I know there are most of our ministry we have these days, all our MDs, most of them had websites. They have functional email addresses. OTIs, I'm sure you have an address. Procurement, I know have an address. Even Office of the Head of Service, Public Service Office, Ministry of Works and Housing Ministry. Some of them, we have website, they have functional official addresses. And we can ask questions. We can ask questions. We can ask questions. We can move in to ask questions, even from the directors. And they will be willing to. I do ask questions when if some things are not clear, I do ask questions. I give you an example. I said it when I was speaking to one of this issue. When there was an issue we have had around SPADEV. SPADEV are always in charge. The L&D officer are always in charge of SPADEV training for time immemorial that I know. Even when the issue of 5 divisions of A and HR was battered into service. But at a particular time, it was something that was not written, but it was on written. System where they said no. Why is L&D having SPADEV? It should be under the auspices of HR measures and accountability, because SPADEV is to measure officers. It's supposed to appraise them. It's under an appraisal system. It's also supposed to, now there are issues around it. So I tried to find out from like 2, 3, 4 different agencies, and I see everyone are not on the same page. I went to public service office, asked independently on my own, and I saw that we're having a different idea. I went to OTCI myself, and the first person I met was my director, a very good cerebral person, and who incidentally is a brother, Mr. Otuniyi. And I said, Oga, this is what is happening in some other places that I know, and these are the things that he said, well, initially it was in under appraisal system with L&D, But at another time, they had a program with all directors, admin, and HR at PSSDC in Magodo. Those things have been revised or reviewed to be under HR measure. I said, but then there's no paper, there's no circular to indicate that that was what it is. And people are taking it for granted. I said, could we just put up something to show where it belongs? And I know that up to today, some people are interchanging it. Either your SPADEV is with L&D or it's either with the HR measure accountability. Issue of promotion was also faced up to it. HR measures and accountability said, okay, promotion is under our own guide. It's not supposed to be under L&D. And I tell you, up to now also, I think some of those things also see. So when we have issues around KPI and stuff, please look at that MDA that's responsible to all of those issues. Please ask questions. Ask questions, make calls, send mail. And I'm sure you'll be answered and that thing will be clear instead of you having, because if now we get into promotion exercise and they are trying to ask us questions around it, it might not be a one-fitted question, answer to it. It now depends on the way you can explain or you can justify what you are saying. If you can't justify where SPADEV belongs to, either it's L&D or HR measure accountability, what do you say? If you cannot determine where promotion schedule belongs to, is it within L&D or HR measures and accountability? What do you do? So all of those things, there are many reviews, there are many offshoots of decisions and policies that's coming out from government. And, some of us are not flowing up with it. Things are revolving, so we should ask questions. And there is no crime in asking questions. It only depends on the way you ask it. In every nonsense, there is always a sense there. It's only the none you push off. You ask questions. If it is a nonsense question, they will pick sense out of it and they drop the none away from you and they will give you that sense. It depends on the way you ask. And I'm sure those people we have as leaders up there, they are ready for us. It's only us that, it's either we are afraid or we are, we just jitter and feel that they will not answer us. I do know that most of them I ask questions and they do answer us. Thank you. God bless you, my brother.
Thank you, sir. Moreni Keji.
Thank you so much, sir. Good evening, sir. Thank you so much for this great exposition, sir. Can you hear me, sir?
Yes, your name and ministry and your question. Quick one.
Yes, Moreni Keji Oladosu, Ministry of Agric and Food Systems, Fisheries Department. Sir, I'm still on KPI. My duty, my work is on the field, more of extension services. I coordinate the activities of the department in a division. That's for artisanal fisheries and cultural fisheries. So what I do, I interpret government policies to these fisheries, and then I render technical assistance to them. And I also, sometimes I coordinate government activities like distribution of inputs. That's within the division, distribution of inputs to capture or cultural fisheries as the need may be. And I also do some support like workshop and capacity building as it demands from the department for the fisheries in the division. So the KPI of the state in that regard is in the GDP of the food production in the state. Can I safely say that is my KPI, sir? Thank you.
Okay. See, it's just a performance index. It is not your job description. You are missing it together now. The job description you have based on the job you do is what is going to use to determine what your KPI is. A driver that drives a car with his conductor, I'm talking of public driver now. If he leaves home in the morning for 6 o'clock and he closes for 10 o'clock, what is expected of him if he's the type that delivers money to the owner of the vehicle is for him to bring 10,000 naira home every day. The KPI that is set for him by his driver, by the owner of the vehicle, is one, that you must bring my 10,000 naira. My vehicle must be in good condition. The tires must be okay. I'm not having any scratches. You don't call me in the middle of the afternoon to say police has catch me somewhere. You must not kick any other person. Insurance is not disturbing me. Give me the output that I want, which especially and importantly is the 10,000. That person who is driving that car might necessarily not be a driver by profession. He might have a BSc Agric, but he doesn't have any job he's doing. He now wants to go and take car to drive. His KPI is not going to be set on the Agric that he has read. It's going to be set on the car that he's driving. And the result is supposed to bring for driving that car. Do you understand, ma? So KPI is just the key performance index that should be looked at to see that what they have told you to do is exactly what you have done or you have surpassed it. And it will either give you a promotion or it make you stay where you are or it gets you demoted. Do you understand it? It's a simple logic. KPI is just to know that what we say you should do, you have done it, you have surpassed it, or you are just in the same place. It's just like reading and writing for exam and pass. So if you get 40, pass mark. If you get 50, they say you are in credit, and you get 70, you are merit. You get 80, you are in excellence. Your KPI to what you read to write for exam and pass, it is that. But you that is writing it, the job description is about you doing what you are supposed to do to get what you are supposed to be given based on your performance. It's performance key indicator. Performance key indicator. What indicates what you have done to either be good, bad, better, or excellent. Do you understand? So where you work now or what you do, how well you do it is what will give you results. If you work with an MDA or you work with a PS and you are just even a PA, that person is the one that will judge you that, it makes my work easier. But if you don't make it work with that person, no matter how brilliant you are, they don't know you. Do you understand? So that is just what it means. I think, Mr. Jami, that would be the last question I want to accommodate.
Yes.
It's 10 o'clock.
Yes,
I told
sir.
you I have another program at 9:30, and I'm already doing that simultaneously with this one. So
Okay.
if you are permitted, so you allow me to
Okay.
be a full guide.
Thank you, everybody. Our norms here, we call one of our participants to thank our facilitator on behalf of others. I will call on Mrs. Morenikeji Oladosu. Unmute yourself, Morenikeji.
Thank you, sir. On behalf of the staff, the participants of this wonderful exposition, this great training, I want to say thank you. I appreciate the organizers of the training. I appreciate the organizers of the training, as well as the resource person who we have benefited so much from this night, expose us to exactly what we need to know as regards our coming promotion examination. I pray God will continue to bless you, promote you, and honor you. And I also pray for all the candidates that God will make a way and we will all succeed. Thank you so much. God bless you, sir. Thank you. Good night.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
Oga Jamiu, one last word before I leave. Please,
Yes,
I want to beg those of us who are see on this platform, let us learn to put our name, change our name ID on our phone for our Zoom. especially now that we're going to exam proper. I'm also writing, I'm also joining, I'm also eligible for promotion this year, and I'm going to be part of you also. What I wish for myself is what I'm wishing for you. Best of luck to all of us. But please and please, let us learn to use our name to log in. If you are using iPhone 1, iPhone 2, and you have been used to it, and you know, we've been trying to change that narrative, and you don't change, you might mistakenly, out of pressure, just log in for your promotion and put iPhone 1 or iPhone 2 or iPhone 77. Please, and may God help us. Let us try and learn that one right from now. Thank you. Somebody said I'm going to sit beside you. Ogunla Anonimota. Okay.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
I'm sure we're not in the same.
All right.
Our Keda is different.
Thank
All
you,
right,
everyone.
thank you.
Thank you, sir, for your time,
Protocol,
sir.
thank you for the
Yes, sir.
It's a pleasure trying
Yes, sir.
with you. And thank you to our senior staff union association for all of this. It's a big one. That's a big responsibility. And also on my own side, I also appreciate them for this. Thank
you, sir. Yes, sir. So
good night.
Thank you, everyone. Good night. Have a lovely night rest. Tomorrow by 10 o'clock, we have another class on financial regulation. So please endeavor to join us. Good night. Have a lovely night rest. Bye.